Okay, if you have your Uni Planner, get it out. Start taking notes. If you have Fundamentals of Unicult, get it out. Start taking notes. We are going to, your donations are tax deductible. Yes, we are a religion. It's a real religion. Okay, we're on page 65. Okay, 65. And today we're talking about one of my favorite topics, which is the electromagnetic spectrum and the brain. And how does this have to do with our religion? A lot of people are asking on TikTok, can you tell me more about Unicult? So we'll do a brief introduction to why this content is relevant to our beliefs. We believe a very fundamental truth of the universe, which is as above, so below, as within, so without, or in our words, we are all one. We are all connected. Everything is connected. All is one. What does this mean? This means that when you feel feelings in your conscious reality, when you do actions in your physical reality, you are affecting more than yourself. You're affecting the world and you're affecting the universe. When things in the universe happen which are seemingly unrelated to you, they actually all relate to you in subtle ways because we are all connected. We are all one. All one is a really important fundamental concept for humans to adopt because it allows us to live our best life and to reap the benefits of universal love and harmony. It also enlightens us to compassion and empathy for others. When we talk about how we are all one, it breaks us free from the prison of our mind of feeling alone and separate, dejected, rejected, alone, isolated, and hopeless, and like our life is meaningless. When you understand all one, you become enlightened to the fact that joy exists, to the fact that you are capable of making great changes in this world, and to the fact that all of life has to do with you. Everything that's happening is here to benefit you directly, as well as everyone else. We're not a solipsistic religion in the sense of saying that you are the only thing that exists. In your reality, you are. But we also acknowledge that everyone else is living in their own solipsistic religion or their own solipsistic reality. And that all of our unique, independent realities are converging in a beautiful, sacred geometrical circles overlapping one another to create a magnificent harmonic song of existence. Someone says you shouldn't profit off of spiritualism. And the answer to that is yes, you should. Every single thing that you do spiritually should profit you, should profit your heart and your soul. Everything is aligned. When you raise your vibration, what is true profit? Is true profit money? How important is money? You have to ask yourself that. I'm not going to get triggered by the comments, but if you aren't profiting from the true heart of your heart, then you're missing the point. If you're keeping yourself in a lower vibration and you feel like you have to suffer in order to be spiritually aligned, you're missing the point. So when we're talking about consciousness and the importance of your consciousness and the importance of everything that's happening around you and how it has the potential to affect your consciousness and how it has the potential to affect other people's reality and the compassion that you can have for yourself and for other people, because you understand that just like you are a person with all of your flaws and all of your attempts to do good and all of your goals and your heart and your power, so is everyone else. And we're all working together because we are all one. As we go down our own spiritual journey, our own internal reality, as we grasp and we fight against our own illness and darkness and confusion and genetic healing and ancestral healing and personal healing and trauma healing, all of that, we are actually raising the vibration of each other. When you heal yourself, you heal the world. And as we heal Earth, we're actually healing the universe. And you don't have to take it on like you don't have to feel so responsible. But you can know that as we're all moving into the light, this is helping. We're helping each other. You're not alone in this regard. When you feel confused and you feel lost and you feel hate and you feel judgment and you want to overcome it, you're not the only one who's going through that. We are all here together. And every little amount of frustration or hatred or just meanness that you feel and that you heal shifts your entire life, and it shifts the world into a world that we deserve to live in. So that's the basic teaching of Unicult, and how it relates to information theory is also very important. We are information geeks in Unicult. We love information. We have a section of Unicult called Unidata, and we believe that it's through information, through understanding and organizing information, that we will be able to raise our consciousness on this planet. How we approach information in our own brains, in our media, and in our algorithms is going to change our entire perception of each other, of ourselves, of the world, and of what's possible. This doesn't have to be super technological, but it can just be conscious. It can just be psychological. Eventually, we will be able to map out the physical, technological representation of what I'm going to be talking about today. And in some ways we have. But the original technology is your body. Your body has technology in it that allows for the sending and receiving of information. I am transmitting information to you. We are using physical technology, sure. But if I wasn't using my body to consciously process, organize, and transmit that energy to you, you wouldn't have any understanding of it. And you have to do the work of listening to me, of internalizing, okay, who is this person? What are they wearing? What are they talking about? Have I heard anything like this before? You're working to understand the things that I'm saying, and your technology, it's not just your brain, and that's what we're going to talk about today, but a lot of times we think of it like our brain. Your technology is downloading and processing and understanding the output that I'm presenting. This is happening all the time. And the fact of the matter is that your own technology of your body, of your ability to understand things, can be fine-tuned and can be harmonized to understand massive amounts of information that you haven't previously had access to. Isn't that exciting? It's literally like I'm trying to tell you, like, open your eyes. Like, imagine if you were walking around your whole life with your eyes closed. And I was like, no, but if you just open your eyes, you'll be able to see color and you'll be able to see shapes and you'll be able to see people's faces and expressions. And people are just walking around with their eyes closed, saying, I don't know, my life feels pretty great. But they don't even realize what's beyond if you just open your eyes. When I'm talking about teaching telepathy, I'm talking about opening your eyes. I'm talking about showing you an entirely new system of understanding, an entirely new platform of reality that you haven't yet even seen, that exists, that has so much information that's going to make life so much more fun and easy for you. Think about how information changes your life. If your eyes are closed and then you open them, what is that going to give you? What kind of information were you missing if you spent your whole life blind and then you could see? So as we're talking about information, It's important to understand that humanity has undergone already a massive shift in consciousness in our ability to see color. There is, how many times am I going to say this sentence in my life? There is an amazing Radiolab podcast that talks about the analysis of literature with regards to the description of color throughout history and throughout time. And what these researchers found is that in literature, descriptions of color follow a certain pattern, starting with a dark, murky maroon, and slowly after time, each culture developed language around and perhaps the ability to see new colors as they go along the electromagnetic spectrum. Our eyes, over time, have literally developed to take in a larger swath of information. When we're talking about the body as a technology, it's important for us to understand that we have different components, different sensors, different sense organs that allow us to interpret different swaths of the electromagnetic spectrum. Let's just talk about the electromagnetic spectrum first, and then we'll get back to eyeballs. The electromagnetic spectrum is insane. I mean, really, it's insane. But it's also everything. And our current science doesn't necessarily recognize that everything is on the electromagnetic spectrum, but it is. The electromagnetic spectrum is the condensation of energy from zero, dead, nothing, to infinity. Maybe God, higher source, the infinite. As you go up on the electromagnetic spectrum, it's waveforms of energy. And I'm not just talking about gobbledygook. This is a real phenomenon that we use every day. The most common thing that people understand about the electromagnetic spectrum is the visible light spectrum. And the visible light spectrum is a fraction, just a tiny sliver of information. It is the rainbow that we are capable of seeing. Below red, we have infrared, which is seen, we can see it as heat. Have you seen infrared cameras? And above violet is ultraviolet light, which we can see up until we can't see it. Well, I think like black lights are like right at the edge of the visible light spectrum. Other types of the electromagnetic spectrum we use all the time. Microwave radiation includes Wi-Fi, cell phone towers, 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G. Radio signals, AM is one version, FM is another. These are different vibratory states. We've got ultraviolet light that comes from the sun, X-rays, gamma waves, etc., etc. We use technology to pick up on different swaths of information. Your cell phone is operating on a range of frequencies, and it picks up those frequencies. A radio is operating on a range of frequencies. You tune your radio to a different station, and you're tuning your radio frequency to different frequency bands, and information can travel on these frequency bands. Is this not so cool? And it's directly related to your experience of the world, and it's directly related to your physical body, and it's directly related to your spiritual evolution, because we have sense organs that can sense and feel physical reality. Your eyes can see color and shape. Your hands can feel texture, heaviness, warmth, cold, etc. Your skin can feel these things. Your tongue can taste. Your ears can hear. Your heart can feel. And this is where we start to get into the woo-woo shit that's also very real. Our bodies are full of sense organs. Our brains are actually capable of sending and receiving electromagnetic energy that's called thinking. When your brain goes into different brain states, alpha, beta, theta, gamma, your brain is actually producing different levels, you're tuning your radio to different frequencies, and you're operating and you're sending and transmitting information on different frequencies inside your own brain. That's happening electrically. That thoughts are on the electromagnetic spectrum. We have technology that can pick up on it. So when we're talking about our ability to sense information, we have all these amazing sense organs that can feel all these different things. Our eyes can see a fraction of light. But what if we were talking to aliens and they're like, our eyes see a completely different fraction of light? What if you had aliens come visit Earth and their eyes, their visible light spectrum was actually in the range of Wi-Fi? They would be like, what would their experience of the world be like if you could see Wi-Fi, if you could see microwave radiation, if you could see radio waves? Your experience of reality would be very different, and it might be overwhelming at first. And you might have to take some time to understand what you're experiencing. And what I'm here to tell you today is that you have the capability inside your body, you have the technology to see, to feel, to experience every single level of physical and emotional and energetic reality that we are in if you choose to. It takes work to tune your abilities into being able to understand and feel and sense these capabilities. But you have the absolute ability and the uni-given right to do so. We have the endocrine system, which is like your glands, your lymph nodes, that are connected to your chakras. The endocrine system is the exact same thing as the chakra system. It's just that one is physical and one is spiritual. And if you look at the processing of them, they're processing emotional energies, hormones, and things like that. Your brain is capable of not just processing information, but it's also capable of sensing it. Energy, in the form of the electromagnetic spectrum, can be transmitted over great distances. Our brains have the ability to send and receive information. It's just true. It's just true. Telepathy is real. When you hug someone, and our hearts are the best example because the power of our heart is very strong. The heart creates an electromagnetic radiation field, a toroidal field around your body that goes out 2 to 3 feet all around you. It's a force. Your heart is creating an electromagnetic force field of energy, and you can feel it when you hug someone. You can feel it when you hug a tree. You can feel your heart connecting to the tree's energy. You can feel it when your heart is breaking because of heartbreak. You can feel it when your heart is expanding because you're happy. Our hearts and the electromagnetic radiation that they express can also be sent and received. And distance is no problem because we're living in a quantum reality, we're living in a simulation reality, and the ability to transmit information over long distances of time and space is absolutely real. The idea that I talked to a neuroscientist in depth, who is my friend, about the potential for telepathy. And his response is that the brainwaves do travel a certain distance outside of the brain, but that they're dampened by the skull. And the way that we understand technology on Earth, and we've been limited on purpose because we aren't responsible with our technology. We all know the story. Like humans would destroy themselves if they had access to these certain types of technology. And one of the ways that our technology is limited is by projectile weaponry, right? You have to, if you want to hurt somebody, you have to shoot something at them. You have to take a physical object or a waveform and you have to literally take it and you have to just shoot it at them. And that is the only way to really damage or anyone. And we think of it in terms of damage because we're damaged. But the real what most entities in the universe think of it as is how do I describe it? Instantaneous transmission. And we're not really allowed to have instantaneous transmission because people would use it to harm people throughout time and space. And you have to be at a certain level before certain technologies, and by technology, I don't just mean physical technology, I mean internal technology as well. Before those technologies are able to come online, you have to raise your vibration to access them because they're of a higher vibration. Because if you have access to them at a lower vibration, you could think of it almost as an evolutionary thing, you would just destroy yourselves. If early humans or humans even now had access to technology where you could just think about killing somebody and then they would die, probably we would all be dead. So we have to raise our vibration up to a point. We have to raise our consciousness up to a point of unconditional love and understanding to have access to new forms of technology, which are instantaneous, which are not projectile, but which go on a quantum level, which is where telepathy is operating. This is a lot of information. I wonder how you're all interpreting it. When you're thinking of telepathy, when you're thinking of information exchange in the physical embodied state of your physical body and of your conscious reality, you can let go of worrying about being close enough to someone. We have had access to telepathy in physical proximity with facial expressions and with body language and with intonations in the voice. And we're able to pick up a lot of information that way. If you've ever looked in someone's eyes and started laughing without saying anything, you've experienced physical telepathy. But there are other forms of telepathy that exist. And these forms of telepathy can happen across time. They can happen across space. They can happen in other realms like the dream realm. And they can happen in our physical reality. And they can happen where one person is experiencing it and the other person isn't because they're on different vibratory levels. And that's okay. And that's real too. But you have to understand not everybody is going to be feeling the same feelings that you have. For instance, I have a very telepathic relationship, a dream consciousness relationship with Elon Musk, right? I do. I dreamed of him last night. I can't help it. I'm just connected to him. I'm not thinking about him. I feel like we have an energetic connection. He probably doesn't have that feeling at all. He's a celebrity. Probably a lot of people feel that way about him. A lot of people feel that way about me. They write me and they say, do you feel my energy? Like we're sending and receiving so much energy together. And consciously, I have to say, no, I don't have connection to that bridge of information, but it doesn't mean it's not happening. If one person is experiencing something, it is happening. It just doesn't mean that it's happening to both people simultaneously. It doesn't mean that it's happening to both people in this timeline or in this reality. So as you're developing your understanding of sending and receiving information, don't judge yourself or knock yourself if you're like, oh, I was thinking of you yesterday, and your friend's like, oh, I wasn't thinking of you. If you get those mismatches, don't worry about it. It's still happening to you. You have to be able to trust your own experience. But you also have to understand that not everyone is going to have the same experience as you. Your body is capable of sending and receiving mass amounts of information through your endocrine system, through your chakra system, through your brain, your throat, your heart, your solar plexus. Your solar plexus is your gut feeling, your intuition. If you've ever had, I feel like a bad feeling in my stomach, that's your solar plexus transmitting and receiving information. Your sacral chakra and your root chakra. The chakras are simply fine-tuned energy points, and all the information in between them is also accessible. When you think of the chakra system and the endocrine system, you can think of it like a radio station, where if you're tuned into one radio station, if you're tuned into the heart, you can get a clear signal. And if you're tuned into the throat, you can get a clear signal. And if you tune in between the heart and the throat, you're going to get a little bit of both. It's when you can hear both of the songs playing at the same time. And when you think of that, it probably sounds a little chaotic, but if you're aligned, it's actually beautiful. It's a harmonic experience. I'm talking about all of this to open your eyes to the potential that there is mass amounts of information in the universe that you have access to that you cannot see. Not all of it is accessible by our physical technology. Not every bit of information that is on the radio frequency spectrum is able to be picked up by a radio. Our technologies are very limited, and our consciousness is infinite. Technology is a wonderful tool. I am all about it. I love computers. I love technology. But we have to remember and honor the fact that the original technology, the most powerful technology, is our bodies and our own consciousness. And that technology should only work, our physical technology should only work to supplement and to feed our own internal harmony and our harmony with one another. If there is technology which is discordant to your physical form, to your consciousness, or to your community, then it is not a beneficial technology, and it should be eradicated immediately and rebuilt so that it's in alignment with benefit. We have greed-driven, profit-motivated narratives that are just creating technology that are meant to kill and harm and enslave and create dependency and addiction in us. And it is wrong, and it will eventually stop. All you can do is turn your attention to technologies which actually benefit you. The technology that will always benefit you is your spiritual practice, is the attunement of your third eye, of your crown chakra, of your heart, of all of your chakras, and of your relationships, of your home, of your body. And the last thing I want to say is that when you spend time consciously considering the higher vibrational realities of reality, these swaths of information, when you're thinking about what you're seeing when you start to open your eyes, when you're trying to parse out the information, just know that it's possible. All the information exists like a rainbow, and by simply attuning your consciousness to the different colors, you get access to it. The rainbow is an octave of energy that repeats in other forms. It's like a piano where you've got the same note in higher octaves, okay? So when you focus on a certain color, you're focusing on a vibratory state. When we're focusing on red, we're focusing on the lowest vibratory state that our consciousness can understand, and it's good to use red to ground and to connect to the earth and to do it in a way. We think of red as anger, lust, all energy. All right. All these really violent and intense energies. You can use red not to connect to those things, but to connect to the earth and to connect to the ground and the soil and magma and crystals in the earth. And if you want to start reaching your consciousness higher and higher, you can use each of these colors to connect to different frequencies. Focus your energy on purple. Focus your energy on violet. Focus your energy on a bright pinkish purple. Focus your energy on black lights. Because the reason why that's important is because that is the highest vibrational experience that we can consciously see. And so it is connecting to the highest reality that we can see in all dimensions. Each of the colors is magnificent and important. But when you focus your energy, do it in a way that allows you to understand that your conscious ability to send and receive information can be paired with your ascension. It can be paired with your own joy. It can be paired with your own ability to rise and to transmute all of your energy and to become the best person that you want to become and to access the things that you want to access energetically, to be aligned in a state of joy, near constant joy through radical self-love. I love people can't understand what I'm saying, and I'm sorry, you're so dumb. Like, you can't make fun of someone if you don't understand them. It's okay if you don't understand me. I'm talking about things that you've never been exposed to. It's normal. I'm not expecting you to understand me. But if you are making fun of me, then you've missed the point. You don't need to follow all of this. I've learned all this through deep study of so many different things. And I'm not judging you for not understanding me. I'm saying you can't just make fun of me because you don't understand me. You can't just say they called it psychobabble. You can't call it psychobabble. It's okay. I don't mean to belittle you all. But yeah, study up. There's a lot of books you can read on these things. You can rewatch this on YouTube and try to understand. Try to understand what I'm saying. All right. I am also a human. What is our practice this week? I think our practice this week is to tune into each of the colors of the rainbow. Write down red, write down orange, and focus on the color. Try to see the color in your third eye. Try to actually see it. I'm not saying just remember what it looks like. For some of us, this is easy, and some of us, this is hard. It's really hard for me to literally see colors when I close my eyes. If I'm about to fall asleep, it happens much easier. So don't be hard on yourself if you don't have the ability to see things in your vision when you close your eyes. It's okay. You can access the memory of seeing the color. It helps if you have a rainbow in front of you and you look at it and then you close your eyes and you look at it and then you close your eyes. Okay, so spend some time trying to see the color red and then write down what you saw in your experience and then try to see the color orange. And this actually is going to take an incredible amount of effort. I always think I'm going to do this like really quick when I do this practice, and it's not. I would say spread it out. Start with red on, today, move to orange the next day, and go until you get to violet. And if you can imagine the most beautiful, like think of this dress as the violet color, like the highest vibrational color you can imagine, like holographic, and spend time thinking of that as your highest one. Write down your experience with each one. That's your practice for this week. This is how I spend every Sunday. And yes, I did do a prawn. There's a lot going on here. I know there's a lot going on here. There's a lot to digest. It's a lot to digest. It's blue and purple and green. We all see color differently. Thank you all for being here and for listening and for joining Unicult. And yeah, whatever color you can see most easily, you might resonate with more. And whatever color you can't see very easily, you might want to practice seeing it. Oh my gosh, Ghosty says, when I was little, I wanted to see fireworks, but fireworks were over. So she closed her eyes to see her own fireworks with her eyes closed. That's the shit. Daniel, you can turn it off. You don't have to be here. I don't know why people stick around. They just want to hate. We love the haters. We love the haters. We have a super high hater troll conversion. Our trolls oftentimes end up joining and sticking with the program because they realize if you pay enough attention, you become enlightened. So keep giving your attention if you want. I don't know. Join Unicult. I guess. It's not comfortable. All right. Spirit of Uni, we call you to this chat. We're sending love to everyone, the trolls and the haters and the lovers and all the people who are the defenders of the light, the people who just instantly understand, the people who are struggling to understand, everybody who's on their journeys. We're going to be gentle with ourselves today. We're going to be compassionate today for ourselves and for others. We're creating Unitopia on Earth right now. And we're creating Unitopia in our own consciousness. We're creating Unitopia in our own hearts, in our own relationships, in our own homes. Please spend some time looking at nature today, please go give a tree a hug. Please sit in the sun if you can. And join Unicult. If you join Unicult, you get access to the Discord server and an abundance of material and information. I'm the leader of the cult. I created the cult. Spirit of Uni, bless each person. Well, I guess I should do a Q&A on TikTok. I'll do a Q&A on TikTok some other time, maybe later today, because we have a lot of questions coming from TikTok. Thank you all for being here. Uni bless. It has been my delight to do this camp church today. It's one of my favorite topics. If you're interested in following along in your camp church sermons, you can get the Uni Planner, the classic version, and you can write down your notes on the sermon every week. And you can also plan out your life. You've got goals for each month, affirmations for each month, and just traditional calendars that you can use to plan out all the things that you need to do this year in 2021. This is on Unicult Supply Co. So is the book, all the applications, and the art is on Unicult Gallery on Etsy if you want to look at the art that's available to support Uni Acres. Uni bless.